Hi Lorraine, so we were talking earlier about finding it an easier way to update changes from a spreadsheet at your team meeting to update the records in Salesforce. And I mentioned a product that I'd been using, having some success with, called Xappex. And Xappex specialise in integrating data with Salesforce using Excel spreadsheets and also Gmail's 365 product. Hi Lorraine, so earlier on we were talking about ways of making it easier to update data from your team spreadsheet back into Salesforce, and I mentioned this product called Xappex that I've been having some success with. So I thought I'd do a demonstration of that using some test data I've got in a sandbox. So I'm in one of my sandboxes now, and I've got some data from the opportunity object, which is the same object you use to manage your properties. And you probably see some kind of familiar data here, kind of amounts, dates, etc. I've also added the Salesforce ID there because I'm going to need that because it's a unique ID for data matching. So one thing I want to do is actually bulk update the close dates. And at the moment I've only got 21 records. I kind of could go into them and do it fairly simply. But if I'd got a lot of records, that would be quite painful. So it'd be great to have a tool that could do that. And also I might want to update some other items within the record as well, like you do, to do with, stages, etc. So I'll just pop into Google Sheets. So I've got a Google Sheet here. And I've got a blank Google Sheet at the moment, and if I go into the extensions, I've got an extension called Salesforce Connector. So I'm just going to click that. It takes a few seconds on the first time round to actually connect, but effectively that's now going to add a tool that connects directly to Xappex, and then once it's connected, I'm then going to say open the tool. So this is just an add-on that you add to your Google Sheets product. It's free of charge. The connection to Xappex is free to a certain point, and you may get away with the free version, but then when you start wanting more and more features, there's kind of a paid version. So this demonstration, we're just going to be using the light version. You can now see I've got a panel open on the right-hand side, and I'm going to pick the first one called Reports, and now we're talking directly to Salesforce. So I'm going to filter a report out. I've got one here called Pipeline for Xappex, and I'm going to get the data, and it says, are you sure you want to replace the data in the sheet? Well, it's a blank sheet at the moment, so I'm just going to pull in all the Salesforce report data into my sheet. And there you go, as I've been talking, that's now populated. I've got Salesforce fields up here, and then I've got all the data. So rather than going into Salesforce, run an export, download it, open it up, copy paste it to Google Sheets, it's just come straight into Google Sheets, and I can now start editing that data. So let's have a look at the close date. So I've got a date here of the 31st of the 8th. I'm going to change that date to 1st of October. And actually I'll copy it down, which will give it a varying date within October. That's fine. I just need to select which ones I want to change. So I'm going to just select all of those, because you can select one if you just want to update one record or parts of the records, etc. And then I'm going to go to another action which is called update. So click on the update, let's let that come in. Okay, that's fine. So we've got, you can see it's going to update rows 2 to 23, so it's got a count of 22, which is correct. It now is asking us which object, well, opportunity. Again, most of these choices are done just on the first time. Once you've got the sheet set up, it doesn't need to ask these each time. We're not going to insert because that would create brand new records. We want to update the existing records. And now it's going to ask, well, what ID are you going to use to allow me to match the record in the Google Sheet back to the record in Salesforce. So that's why we brought the Salesforce ID through, which is in column O. So now we need to tell it in column O, and the results column. Let me just make sure that's picked on column O. And O. So the results column will go in column P. So in other words, when it connects and it's succeeded, it can come back and tell us against the Google Sheet. Click on Next. And now it's going to say, you know, what columns do you want to update? So we could just pick everything and ensure they match, or just pick one or two. Now, sometimes it doesn't always get a perfect pick. So opportunity owner, it hasn't actually picked up. I don't want that anyway, and I actually don't want the account name or the opportunity name. But you just have to map those. Again, you know, once you've done it once and you're using the same sheet every time, then you don't have to keep doing it every time. Actually, all I'm interested in is the close date, which it has matched to a perfect match. I'm going to tick that one as selected, and I will need to tick the opportunity ID, which is the matching one we're going to use, and press execute. Are you sure you want to update 22 items? Yes, I do. So we'll just wait for that to go off now. So it wasn't a particularly difficult task. So you can see that, you know, you could have your company meeting using the spreadsheet in front of you, and you can make all the changes. And then when you're happy with the changes, you can then select the records that are changed, or just select all, and then go through the process like I've done just now. So you can see I've got a result back. Those ones have been updated. So we'll just go and check that now. So if I go and look at the report now, because it's not been refreshed, it will show the old dates. So you can see we've got dates here of August and a few in September. And if I refresh that report, updated, so we've got October dates in there. So we've done an immediate update. So I'll save that one now and call that my Xappex connector. Let's call it whip, for instance. Save that. So now I can go back and reuse that sheet. So next time that I have a meeting, I can refresh the data within there, so it gives me an ability to either look at the report or refresh the data from that original report, and then we can go on and edit and then send information back. So hope that's been of help. Let me know if you want to do anything with that. There's you know, a little bit of setup and effort and training involved in that, but I'm sure it would save you an awful lot of time and make your meetings much more productive. Thanks for watching.